Ladies and gentlemen, listen to the President of the United States.
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician.
He is such a moron. Like, it's shocking.
It just amazes me that the media, legacy media, thinks we're so stupid that they can just keep talking about Joe Biden when this guy, it's not even comparable.
No.
And I'm not saying that Joe Biden hadn't, aged and was showing signs of slowing down and, really searching for words. This is like a combination of blackout drunk, full-blown dementia, I just ate an edible, and I'm a dipshit, all rolled into one. And it's been like this since 2016, on and on and on again. And I want to remind you and the listener, this man attempted to give a blowjob to a microphone during the campaign. We've all just moved on from that.
Right.
Jake Tapper's running around like, oh my God, can you believe Joe Biden? I'm like, he tried to perform oral sex on a microphone, and then we just have this drunken blackout mess.
I look back through the press conference where for 40 minutes he danced, and I look at the Hannibal Lecter and the electrocution and the windmills and all that crap. And then I see this and I think it would explain it a lot more if he was taking a drug. I mean, that would explain more than this is stone cold sober rolling out to Arlington National Cemetery on Memorial Day if he was fucked up.
I agree with you. The best defense to this, if the legacy media were to ever grow a pair and really stand up for democracy and stand up for the longevity of our economy instead of the short-term kiss ass to this guy, the biggest defense he would have to this is to say, I'm on a bunch of Xanax.
Right.
I took about 4 Xanax and then I just start slurring and I'm going to rehab and I'm going to get sober. That would help a lot, but I'm afraid that this is stone cold sober. This is his best foot forward. And he does this stuff all the time. We could start right now and end next year of all the crazy shit and slurring and incoherent messaging that this man says. But meanwhile, everybody and the Democrats that engage in this, like defending Biden, it's like, we have one president at a time.
Right.
The president right now is President Dipshit. President Dipshit is slurring. He doesn't know who started wars. He doesn't seem to understand basic economy. One minute he says China eats the tariffs. Then he scolds Walmart and says, you're going to eat the tariffs. He's all over the place. He does not know come here from Sikkim. All right. So he had that horribly horrific, double dealing crypto dinner. And here's the problem. When he's not making an ass of himself on camera, which is about 90% of his presidency, because he wants to be on TV all the time, he is running a crime syndicate. And so he has this crypto dinner, and an influencer who attended Trump's meme coin dinner says he got a, quote, Walmart steak and no access to the president. And so these influencers are in the find out phase. And I read an article that some of them donated like $300,000, not donated, bought $300,000 worth of the meme coin. And then they go thinking that they're going to have access to Trump, and they get this Walmart steak. But here's my thing. I don't feel sorry for the influencers. This man has been a visible, hypocritical criminal from day one.
Yep.
It's always been there. He bankrupts casinos. He had a university, Trump University, that I think he was it 6,000 victims that fell prey to that scam. And now he's going after Harvard, a real university.
Right. And let's not forget, Donald Trump, Elizabeth Warren called it a corruption orgy, an orgy of corruption. And I love that meme dinner. But we've got the press secretary saying, oh, it's on his personal time. Well, I saw a picture and he's got the seal of the United States presidency, just as bigger than Dallas on there. But here's the thing. This guy, sadly, you're an influencer that gave probably a couple $100,000. We have people that gave 75 million, 22 million. I bet they got FaceTime because I know their SEC charges were dropped. So you're paying to play, but you're not paying enough.
Here's what pisses me off about him and his followers. He's like, we want all these jobs in America. Mm-hmm. We want all this for Americans. And this MFer is out building golf courses in Vietnam, in the Middle East, all over the place. He's not building them in Mississippi. He's not building them in Oklahoma. And so it's always this do as I say, not as I do BS. And his followers just go along with it. And the way they are so susceptible to propaganda, like he says, I'd be stupid if I didn't take the plane. And they're like, yeah,
right.
There's not a deep thought into thinking, why is a nation that funds terrorists giving the president a plane? What's going on here? And does an alarm bell not go off when then you find out it's just going to be with him the whole time? While he's president, it's his plane. And then as post-president, it's his plane too.
Right.
Why does he get a plane and nobody else gets a plane? It's just insane.
Well, the pay-to-play part of Trump and the transactional nature, he's such an easy target, not to mention the Trojan horse of it all. You know, God only knows what they're going to put on that plane in terms of surveillance.
Well, I read that it's going to cost $1 billion to refit the plane. So the plane was a $400 million gift. It goes to the Pentagon. And then it has to have I think Air Force One has missiles on it and missile defense systems and, all sorts of spy shit, right? Well, this Qatari plane doesn't have any of that. It's like the Wynn Casino in air. It's kind of white trash, all the gold, ornate shit that he likes. Well, it has to actually be for the president of the United States. So it's $1 billion upgrade to do it. I also read that he says it was a gift, but it really wasn't a gift. He was bitching to Boeing and saying, I want a plane, y'all are taking too long. And they said, okay, let me find some other planes that we've made to see if maybe this will work for you. So then they say, Qatar, and then he asked them for it.
Right. He wanted it. And here's my question. Since it's going to stay with him, will he have to pay taxes on the gift?
Pumps, that's a great question. And these are questions for journalists. Journalists need to be applying pressure nonstop, which is why every single morning I get on Ground News, because it lets you know what the right is saying, what the left is saying. Here's an example. First example is Trump administration blocking Harvard from enrolling international students. The left headline is Trump administration bars Harvard from enrolling foreign students. The right, the New York Post, right-wing rag, says Trump administration terminates Harvard student visa program over pro-terrorist conduct at protests. On this site, which is so important, you have a bias distribution and it tells you how much of the left is reporting it, how many in the right are reporting it, how many in the center, and then you can go down and read all the headlines.
It's basically the Spotify of news, telling you who owns each outlet, where it leans politically, and whether you're reading original reporting or recycled messaging.
Listener, join us, support our show by going to groundnews.com/IHIP to get 40% off the Ground News Vantage plan that we use every day. They're subscriber funded. And my favorite part is that they are female founded. By subscribing, you're not only getting a tool we all need today, you're also supporting our work. That's ground, GROUND news.com/IHIP, linked right below in the show notes. This subscription is worth everything. Next up, my favorite fighter, Congressman Jasmine Crockett. Play the clip.
Else, because I don't know where he's ever going to go. And I don't think that those that have gone through West Point expected to have their commander in chief address them and start talking about trophy wives or start talking about how he had so many investigations. What a great reminder that you are not qualified to be the person that potentially will command us as troops to go into war. Like, that is not instilling confidence whatsoever. And honestly, our troops deserve better. Our graduates deserve better. We as a country deserve better. And frankly, if we are going to ever be seen as the world leaders that we historically have been, the world deserves better. It is time for Republicans to start calling him out and start questioning his mental acuity and whether or not he is equipped to serve mentally. We know when it comes down to his criminality, he is not qualified to serve. But this is just absolutely deplorable.
Love her. I think that this is the path that Democrats have to walk and chew gum. Number one, call him out. He's incompetent, incoherent, rambling about trophy wives, makes no sense. Even in that same West Point speech, he said when Biden was president, nobody wanted to join the armed services. Meanwhile, 4 years ago, when those people joined the armed services, guess who was president? Spoiler alert, it's Joe Biden. So that's step number one. Step number two is an economic message. take the class war to the people. Trump took it to the people and they bought into his bullshit. So Democrats, quit being beholden to corporate interests. Legacy News, protect the longevity of the press altogether. And people at the top of these legacy news media, quit bending the knee to Trump. It hurts us all. And long term, you're not going to have our brand because he will eat the news and gobble it up. So take this message. He's incompetent. He's a psycho. Whacked out nut job. And let's take the class war. The whole system is rigged for this asshole to get a free plane. Rest of us are, going flying commercial, crossing our fingers, hoping that Elon Musk didn't fire all the air traffic controllers.
That's exactly right. And when you think about the fact that if we were to be attacked militarily, would this guy be the person you want making the
Pete Hegseth?
And then you've got Pete Hegseth. Like, you don't even have a back. You don't have a Lloyd Austin that knows what's going on.
Marco Rubio?
You've got just a clown car of stupidity in charge of our military. And these are people's sons and daughters. It's just ridiculous.
It's so gross. And I said this in a previous episode, but one of the biggest lies that they have perpetrated is that Trump is a patriot.
Right.
It is a total lie. Trump is a Trumpist.
Right.
Trump is obsessed with himself. Trump is a broken toddler that says cryptologist. It's like if you're around somebody like that, it's like you said, and you can explain, well, they're wasted. That's why they were sewing. Could you imagine working at the White House, being around that person all the time? No wonder they're all crazy. Like, look at what happened to Marco Rubio 2 or 3 years ago. Crystal clear clarity about Russia, about Russian provocations. Now he cannot even say that Putin is a war criminal. Yet he questioned the State Secretary Rex Tillerson when he was in Trump 1.0, trying to get Rex to say that he was a war criminal. And then Marco just does the same thing. And the hypocrisy. MAGA has zero standards.
None.
They don't hold any of their leaders up to anything except for our number one standard for you is how loud can you whine? Can you whine harder? Can you be a bigger titty baby? Because that's what turns us on. I have never seen more whining, crying, complaining, weakness, low T from this group of men in my entire life. Listen, we wrote a book called, speaking of low T and high E, Life as a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. It's a great read. It goes back 25 years into our friendship. It's really fun, sad, happy, all of the things. So please go to our link in bio or to a bookstore near you and buy it. And we will see you all soon.